Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. Jan Michael here. Happy New Year, and welcome to my Oscar predictions for January of 2022. A lot has happened this last month. And I know I said that last month, but holy shit, from December to January, a lot has happened. First, we got our final movie releases. We saw what the audiences and the critics thought about that. We have a much more clear picture on what is most likely going to get nominated and what's not. We also had the Golden Globe nominations come out, the Critics' Choice nominations come out. We had more of the Critics' Awards. We have a much clearer picture on who they would like to win. And while I know it's very easy to kind of take a look at the overall winners there and say, oh, well, we know what's going to win, it is important to know that the critics are not necessarily the industry. It is two different mindsets. So while we can see the path, the ultimate destination is not 100% cleared out yet. But it is important to take a look at those. So yeah, a lot to talk about. Let's just go ahead and dive right into Best Picture. Okay, so you definitely see number 9 and my number 10 are blank at the moment. We're going to get to those in a minute, but first, let's go over the films that I'm very confident as of right now that are going to get nominated for Best Picture. And I guess I got to start off with The Power of the Dog. Holy shit, this film is dominating the critics' circle. It's taking home Best Picture just about everywhere. It's doing very well. And so I have to talk about it. I saw it myself. I really enjoyed this film. I personally would not be upset if this ended up winning Best Picture. I really liked the performances in it. I liked the way the story was told. I liked the slow nature that the film director took in telling the tale. But I will admit that it is a film that I do see most general audiences calling dull and boring. And that could definitely very well hurt its chances to win Best Picture. So that's why you also have Belfast, which I have by number 2. While this one isn't dominating the critic side, it is still getting all the nomination it needs. And so it's doing very well on that front. And it is a film that I think more general audiences are going to gravitate towards. Personally, I like Power of the Dog better. I don't hate Belfast. I thought it was okay. It just didn't leave any lasting impression on me. Power of the Dog, I still go back and think about and generally really liked what it did. So that's my take on it. That's the only reason I have it at number 1. Just it's my preferred film. But if you have Belfast as your number 1, it makes complete sense. I understand. Also, West Side Story, my number 3. A lot of people, this film came out, a lot of people were like, oh, this is your front runner. This is the one that's going to win. And I really don't think it has that sort of steam to it. Critic side, it's doing fine. It's not doing bad. And yeah, I think this is, like Belfast, has more of the audience kind of siding towards it. But I don't see this film going all the way. We'll see. There's still time. Maybe it'll get another push, but I think at this point in time, I really think it's just a fight between The Power of the Dog and Belfast. And that's exciting on its own. At number 4, I have Licorice Pizza, and honestly, I can see this dipping even further down. There is that controversy that's really hurting the film right now. If you guys don't know, there is a scene in the movie where they make fun of Asian accents. And yeah, don't know why you thought that would go over well. Paul has kind of stood behind the scenes saying, no, this is how it was back then. And on the flip side, you have the protesters going, but it doesn't add anything to the film. You could cut it out and it's still the exact same movie. So yeah, the closer we get to the Oscars, I think the more pressure it's going to get in terms of trying to knock it out of the race altogether. I don't think it's going to completely get out, but I do think that controversy is going to hurt it. It's definitely going to hurt it. 5, Coda. All right, and so here's where I start off by saying I'm going to have to eat my words on a lot of stuff, and feel free to tell me that you guys told me so on any of these. I had Coda in my predictions, knocked it off, brought it back, ultimately knocking it off, saying I just don't think it's going to have any lasting power. It came out what was it, August, I think, August? I think it was August or even before that. And so that's a huge time frame between that and the Oscars. But sure enough, me and a lot of other people were wrong. It's really getting a lot of life right now. A lot of people really still loving it. A lot of people are getting to check it out now for the first time. So it's proving to be really powerful in terms of the nominations it's getting and the critics side. It's also winning in a lot of places. So Coda doing very well. Definitely getting in now. At least I do believe it's getting in. Dune at number 6. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, what the fuck, at number 6, really? Maybe it is a little bit too low, but I've said this for the last few months and I'm sticking with it. I really think if this was the only Dune movie that they were going to greenlight, that you would have a better chance of this one winning Best Picture. But since there is a part 2 that got greenlit and is going to be made, I think they're really going to want to honor that one and Denis in terms of the grand finale. It was same with Peter Jackson and The Lord of the Rings. They really gave him that full-on honor with the third installment, third and final one. So that's where I feel this is going to happen as well here. But of course, I do still think it's going to win a lot of the technical awards. So that's what I have there. 7, I have King Richard. This one kind of slipping off a little bit more. It started off very strong, but I just don't see it having the same power it did when it first came out, as is the nature of things sometimes. Same with Tick, Tick, Boom. Again, both these films are doing fine. They're doing fine, but they definitely don't have the same power that they started out with. So that's my take on those two. I wouldn't be completely shocked to not see these ones get in, but I think as of right now, I think we're safe with these two and predicting these two. So that being said, we come to number 9 and number 10. And there is a lot of ways that this can play out. And so I decided, let's talk about some of those ways, shall we? Okay, let's start off with Don't Look Up. Don't Look Up still reaching a lot of people's top 10, a lot of people still predicting it. And yes, if it gets in, I wouldn't be hugely surprised by that. I finally saw the film. I thought it was fine, with a respectable ending. I'll give it respect for that. But yeah, overall, I thought it was just fine. I don't think it's anything special. I do think it's one of Adam's weaker films, so there's that. Critics seem to be sharing that same opinion. Audiences even, I see it kind of getting okay reviews. I don't think anybody's absolutely loving it. So, I don't know. I just don't think there's as much power here as his other films. But he has gotten in when other people thought he wasn't going to. So, again, wouldn't be a huge shock to see this film get in here. You also had Being the Ricardos, which also released. Again, another film I thought was just okay. And because of that, I think it's very disappointing. A lot of people freaking were putting it in their top 10 when it first came out. And then it quickly started plummeting. So I think that film is done. I don't think it's getting in. I know a lot of people are saying, but it's Aaron Sorkin. But hey, Molly's Game didn't get into Best Picture, so I don't think they're above not giving him the nomination sometimes. So there's that for you. Nightmare Alley also came out in December. That one got middling reviews from critics, and I think the audience, last I checked, thought was fine. Again, kind of middling reviews. So I don't quite see that one getting into Best Picture anymore. Again, this is another one I could be wrong. A lot of people do have a lot of respect for Guillermo del Toro, and he is coming off of his Oscar win for The Shape of Water, so maybe there is that backing that you'll have to get in here. So there's that as well. There are a couple of other possibilities. I know a couple of people still think Spencer's going to get in. I don't think so. It's definitely not doing anywhere near as good as Jackie was. And Jackie didn't do so hot either. So definitely not Spencer. So yeah, what the fuck am I going to throw in here? I was pondering it, and you know what? I'm going to go all out with this one. I'm going to put the films that would make you guys get pissed off to see on here. So let's start off with number 9. I have Drive My Car. Another one that I have to say I'm going to eat my words on. So last month I had Drive My Car at number 5 in international, and I was saying, man, I just don't think this one could really get into international. I just wasn't as convinced about it. And then lo and behold, it's fucking doing amazing at the Critics Awards. It's like fucking dominating international. It's won a couple of Best Pictures. It's got nominated for writing, director. Holy shit, is this movie doing fantastic in the critics side. And again, I know it's important to differentiate critics are not the industry, but who knows? Maybe it does get in. Maybe it gets into number 9 here. So I see that being a possibility. So that's where I'm cementing my number 9. I'm putting Drive My Car on here. Number 10 is even more outrageous. And maybe some of you are like, Drive My Car, fine, give it the spot. But number 10, I feel most people are going to give me pushback on. And that is The Green Knight. I'll give you guys a second to start writing your angry comments right now, telling me how stupid I am, how that movie sucked, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I really love that film. I thought that film was fucking excellent, and I wanted it to get more attention than it did, and the critics are giving it that attention. It's actually gone on to get a decent amount of nominations. It's won Best Picture in a couple of the Critics Awards as well. So I feel there could be some weird push to get it in. Is it gonna happen? Probably not. I'm probably outrageously talking out of my ass, but I would love to see The Green Knight get into the top 10. There's 10. There's fucking 10. Just throw something in there, right? I know a lot of people always were angry in the previous years going, if you can nominate 10, why just nominate 10? I've always been outspoken saying, you don't need to round up to any number, right? If there's only 5 good movies, 5 fucking excellent movies in here, just fucking nominate 5. You don't need to make it 10 just to reach some round number. I don't know. That's just me. I know I'm in the minority on that front, but hey, we got 10. Here's my 10. Okay, rant over. Let's move on to director, shall we? I'm going to eat my words once again. Last month I said Jane Campion. I do believe she was going to get nominated. I just don't see her winning. And holy fucking shit, she's doing fucking amazing in the Critics Awards. I mean, it's like Power of the Dog levels of fucking fantastic. She's dominating. And yeah, I have to put her at my number 1. I think this is one where it's just such a large gap between the other winners to this one that I there's no way I can not put her at number 1 right now. So there's that for you. She's my number 1. Still have Kenneth Branagh at my number 2. Steven Spielberg, I move up to number 3. I think he's pretty popular now since West Side Story came out not that long ago. Denis, I'm putting at number 4. But I don't know. He feels like he should also be number 3 at the moment. I can see Steven getting snubbed. I can see that being a possibility. So, I don't know. I've still got one more month of predictions left. So, these two might switch spots at some point. And then number 5, I have Paul. Again, there is a chance if the backlash is so severe for Licorice Pizza that he doesn't even get nominated. I think that being a real possibility. And if he doesn't, it makes way for, who knows, maybe Maggie Gyllenhaal for The Lost Daughter. Although I guess it would be weird to give her director but not picture. But then again, we had that last year with Another Round. Speaking of that, we could have the director for Drive My Car, Hamaguchi, I believe it is. I apologize. I don't know if that's actually his name, but he could get in here as well. That wouldn't be a huge shock. Maybe Sian Heder gets in for Coda. That could also be a possibility. Although she's not doing really well at all in the critics' side, that's also a very real possibility. Maybe Guillermo del Toro still gets in, even if his movie doesn't. That film is shot very well, so I could see them still giving him the nomination for director. Again, I think there's a multitude of ways that this could pan out. Paul might not make it. I could see Steven Spielberg getting snubbed here as well. And then that just opens up the gate for two people to come on in. Okay, so for Best Actor, let me talk about Benedict Cumberbatch for just a minute here. Because he is doing fucking amazing in the critics side of things. And I mean like Jane Campion, power of the dog levels of amazing. I really should have him at my number 1. But I'm not going to do that. I think this is really an example of critics going one path and I think everybody else going down the other path. Because I think Will Smith definitely has the best shot at this. I mean, think about it. I've said this last month, and I know a lot of people have already talked about this, but he is a fucking star in an age where we really don't have many of those anymore. His films are constantly doing amazing, even if they're not very good. And he's been nominated in the past and has never won. He's actually one of those actors that when you tell people who's never won an Oscar, people are like, what the fuck? What? Why? So I really think he has the best shot of taking it right now. So I'm going to go that route. And I know there have been instances where the obvious choice doesn't ultimately win, like Sylvester Stallone for Creed. I mean, it was geared up. It was set for him to fucking take it. And then they went with Mark Rylance. So, yeah, could that happen? Yes, it very well could here. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening just yet. So, Will Smith's still my number 1. Andrew Garfield, I think, is pretty much set at number 3. I really see him getting in at this point. Been doing very well. I still have Peter Dinklage on here, but I'm going to be honest, I can see him not making it. So there's that. And then, so here's where we're going to have some fun. Denzel Washington, I know I've had him at my number 2 for the longest time. And then I started dropping him. And now he's not even here. I know he's getting nominated. The critics' sides of things, he hasn't been doing that great in. And again, I know that's the critics. But I don't know. A lot of people are saying, hey, he gets in for things like Roman J. Esquire, Ezekiel, whatever that film was. But let's roll it back to that year. Because that was the year that James Franco was supposed to get nominated. And then it came out that he was a terrible fucking human being. So, like, they couldn't nominate him anymore. So who are they going with? They're going for good old safe Denzel. And not that role was bad. He did a bad job in it. He did a good job with it. But I don't know. I just, like, you got to knock somebody out. Who are you going to put in there? You got to go with Denzel, right? So I don't think that argument quite holds up. But that's just me. I have Nicolas Cage on here. He's doing really good in the critics side of things. I'm not going to keep repeating myself on that end. So I would love to see him come back to the Oscars. And I fucking love Pig. Pig is an amazing goddamn movie. I would love to see it recognized for something. If it's for Nicolas Cage, I'm all in. I want Nicolas Cage at number 5. Denzel's been nominated lots of times. Let's get Nicolas Cage back in here. That's what I would like to see. For actrice, we have Kristen Stewart doing fucking amazing in the critics side of things. And I mean like Benedict Cumberbatch, Jane Campion, the power of the dog levels of amazing. And I'm going to follow suit with this one. I do think her performance was the best one of the year. So she's definitely my number 1 right now. But I don't think it's a clear out victory yet. I do think if Jessica were to take it, it wouldn't be a huge shock or surprise. I know a lot of people aren't on my side on that one. A lot of people have her really towards the bottom of the top 5. Heck, I see people not even predicting her. But I do think she gives a strong performance. And again, I wouldn't be ultimately surprised. She's been nominated in the past. She's overdue for an Oscar. She has that Oscar story behind her. So I can see her taking it. But I am going to agree that Kristen probably has the best chance. And I think a lot of people really want her to win it. So there's that for you. Olivia Colman at my number 3. Lady Gaga at my number 4. A lot of people very confident that she is going to get in there. I can see a world where she gets snubbed. That's just me, but I'm really not ready to yet. So there's that for you. And then Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos at number 5. I know a lot of people really think she's gonna get in, and she does a goddamn good job in the movie, but I don't know. I can see her not getting in, and maybe Alana Haim getting in here instead. I can see that being a possibility. So this one's gonna be exciting to see what the ultimate outcome is in terms of the nominations. So supporting actor quickly went from the most what the fuck is gonna get nominated section to the holy shit, that's what's gonna get nominated section. And let me just start with talking about Cody Smit-McPhee, because he's doing fucking fantastic in the critic side of things. And I mean Kristen Stewart, Benedict Cumberbatch, Jane Campion, and the power of the dog levels of fantastic. He should be my number one, but he ain't. And the reason for it is because he really does give a more subdued performance, which I fucking love. I love performances that are more subdued. They don't have to be bombastic to prove that they're great. But I do think general audiences want that more bombastic appeal. They're more attracted to those type of performances. And who made people cry and was bombastic while also being completely silent? Troy Kotsur for Coda. I think he's got this. He's got this nomination locked in, and really, I think he has the best shot at winning. I do. I think he's getting all the right nominations. He's also doing very well in the critic side of things. So I think they're gearing him up for the win. But would I like to see Cody Smit-McPhee take it? Yes, I would. I would definitely like to see it go that route. But I will not be upset if Troy takes it. I would not be upset at all. Apart from that, Ciarán Hinds, Jamie Dornan, the Belfast boys, or the Belfast lads, because lads just sounds like a more Irish term, right? I don't know, I'm done with the Irish accent. I'm very bad at it. And then number 5, I think, is just quite open. Mike Feist is kind of what I have in my number 5, but really, I just don't. I think anybody can get in here. I think you still have Robin De Jesus being a possibility. J.K. Simmons is actually getting a lot of critics nominations. I don't know why. He was fine. I don't think he needs a nomination though, but I guess that's also a possibility. So we'll see. We'll see. For supporting actress, there's nobody that's actually quite dominating right now. However, that might just be because Ariana DeBose just barely came out with West Side Story last month. So give her time, but she's already racking up quite a bit of wins over in the critics side of things, and getting the proper nominations were necessary. That being said, the other people on here I think are pretty good bets. Anjanou Ellis, King Richard, I think is a surefire thing. Kirsten Dunst doing very well for Power of the Dog, which yes is another one I gotta eat my words just because I didn't really have her in any of my predictions. So there's that for you. I do think she's a safe bet to get in now. Catriona Balfe hasn't won a single award, I believe. So not doing too good, but she has been getting the nominations. So maybe just one of those things where she'll get nominated, but really probably has one of the least chances to win. Still, we'll see. There's still quite a bit of awards left, so we'll find out what's going to go on there. And then Ruth Negga at number 5. Again, I don't see this being a set list. I do think there's still chance for a surprise here or there. So we'll find out what squeezes in here, if Catriona actually gets in or not. This is one that I think is going to be very exciting to keep your eyes on. For Best Original Screenplay, I do still have Licorice Pizza number 1. It's been doing very well. But again, if the pushback is very severe, I could see this going to Belfast. So there is that possibility. King Richard still on here. Mass. I just saw Mass. I understand just how good that film is. Fantastic. I hope it at least gets Screenplay, because its chances of getting in anywhere else are very, very low right now. So I hope it at least gets honored here. And then being the Ricardos, I don't see it being the best picture film that people want it to be, but I do still have to admit it is Aaron Sorkin writing, which is it's still very fast and witty, so I can still see it getting in here. Adapted Screenplay, Power of the Dog, done deal. I just don't see this going to anyone else. It's Power of the Dog all the way. The other possibilities on here, The Lost Daughter, Coda, Drive My Car, if it gets into picture, if it gets into director, I don't see why I couldn't get into writing. And then The Green Knight on here, just because I have it in Best Picture, so why not further piss people off by also putting it in the writing as well. Film editing goes to Dune. This has not changed at all. I do think Dune is still going to win a shit ton of the technical categories, and it all starts here, film editing. That being said, West Side Story, the editing there, very fast-paced, so I think that one is a shoo-in here. Belfast, Tick Tick Boom. I put The Power of the Dog in here, but really it probably shouldn't be in here. I only put it in here just because if I have it winning Best Picture, I should be putting it into editing, right? Right? Does that make sense? I don't know. I guess in terms of it, it's not really an edity type of movie, if you catch what I mean. So if you don't have it in here, I completely understand. I had it at my number one. If I have it at my number one for Best Picture, I feel like I should have it in editing. So that's my take on that. Production design, also Dune. I think this is another one. It's a shoe-fire thing. Nightmare Alley, I don't think is getting into Best Picture, Director, even if it's a possibility. But I do think it's still getting into production design. Because holy shit, if there's one takeaway from it is that it's a very nice looking movie with very impressive sets, designs, all that stuff. So there's that for you. French Dispatch, I don't think is absolutely dead. I still think it can get into categories like this. Very, very interesting sets, places where they film, amazing stuff. Tragedy of Macbeth is another possibility here. Also one that a lot of people say that the design is very minimalistic, but one that catches your attention from what I understand. I haven't had a chance to see this one yet, so it's just what I'm hearing from other people. And then West Side Story, again, one that everyone just keeps talking about. The production design just fucking amazing. So throwing that one in there as well. Cinematography. I had Dune for the longest time, but holy shit is Power of the Dog fucking dominating. And it makes sense. It makes sense. So I'm actually going to follow suit and put Power of the Dog here. That being said, Dune still has a shit ton of wins that it's going to get under its belt. Giving this one away to one other person, at least for now, I don't think is going to really hurt Dune very much. That being said, Dune still could very well take it. So it's my number 2. It wouldn't be a surprise if it took it here. West Side Story, Nightmare Alley, The Green Knight. Okay, if I'm talking honestly about The Green Knight's chances, I feel the one area that it could potentially get in out of all the places I put it in, it's for cinematography. You at least got to give it that, right? Right? No? All right. Well, that's just me then. And then costume design, I'm still going Cruella. I know a lot of people are starting to drop it off. I can't see why. It's a film about the costumes. I don't know. It's got to be me then. It's got to be me. I'm sticking with Cruella. That being said, I believe Dune has won a couple of the Critics Award for this one already. So there's that. Spencer, French Dispatch, House of Gucci, question mark. I have it at my number 5, but a lot of people have dropped it off. Maybe just the unlikability of that movie is really what pushes it out of this category, but I don't know. There's some impressive looking costumes in that one, right? So I could see this not being a surprise if it gets in. Makeup and hairstyling, I'm still going with House of Gucci on this one. This is one that I will not be deterred on. I have it here. Maybe the hate for the film will make it not win. Maybe. But I just don't see that being the possibility now. I mean, we've had not good films take home the makeup, right? Like the last Suicide Squad, not the last Suicide Squad, but the Suicide Squad before that, right? I think we could all agree that was not a good film, and then it took home, like, makeup. So, you know, there's that. There's that. Eyes of Tammy Faye, I still think is a possibility there. Dune, a lot of people are really confident that Dune's going to take this one as well. Maybe I'm just not quite as sure of it as other people are, but it's my number 3. I think you got a good top 3 here. And then Cruella, and speaking of Suicide Squad, number 5 on there, so yeah, I gotta throw it on there as well. Animated feature film, I have The Mitchells versus the Machines and my number 1, and I know what you guys are thinking right now. But Jan, it didn't even get nominated at the Golden Globes! Well, shut the fuck up! The Golden Globes can suck my fucking dick. I do not agree with that whatsoever. It's going to the Mitchells. I'm fucking calling it. I'm fucking calling it. Come at me. Just come at me. It's going to the Mitchells. And the rest are the rest. I will mention, just kind of as a side note, Belle not doing so well. I kind of had it in there, and then nobody's really nominating it. It's still going to Raya. So, hey, another area I have to eat my words. Raya still kind of in there, even though it's not performing very well. Documentary feature. So, Summer of Soul is doing amazing, and you know this feel, all the other not categories. I'm scared. I'm scared that this is the movie that's gonna get snubbed. It's the documentary curse. And sure enough, if you've seen the documentary, and then you come away, I feel like a lot of the voters are just gonna go like, well, it's just music. It's just showing music and that's it. And what a shame, but I do see that being a possibility. And it's the only reason I don't have it at my number 1. I'm afraid it's gonna get snubbed. And Flea also doing very well in this category. Rescue not doing as hot as a lot of people thought it was. I know a lot of people still have it in their number 1. And I do see it taking. It's a fantastic film. I don't see it beating Summer of Soul if it gets in, or Flea. So that's just me right now. We've got time. The other two are just the other two. I don't think anything else is really rising above. So this is just kind of me throwing these two in here and seeing what sticks. And then international feature film, Drive My Car. I'm like 100%, okay, like maybe 98% certain this is your winner, because Titan didn't make it, and I mentioned last month, I could have seen the Oscar voters or whoever gets to pick and just going, I don't quite understand the movie, and sure enough, that seemed to be the case. Although Lamb was picked for the short list, and that one's just as fucking weird. Maybe not as, well, no, it's just as fucking weird, so there's that for you. Yeah, this is pretty much my exact same that I've had for like the longest time now, just rearranged. Now would Drive My Car at number 1. So that's what I have for those. Original score, Dune. Yeah, I think this one's a pretty safe bet with Dune. The Power of the Dog also doing very well right now. So for whatever reason, Dune slips here. For whatever reason, Hans Zimmer doesn't take it. Johnny Greenwood, Power of the Dog, and he's got Spencer as his backup there. French Dispatch, I threw No Time to Die on there. I just don't know what to put at my number 5. I think you got a solid top 4. I think number 5 is open right now. Put that what you will in there, so make your choice on that. Original song. Oh gosh, so the shortlist came out and I heard them, and I'm not great at like telling you what the hottest song is and shit like that, so you know what, I'm just gonna go with what I personally find entertaining to my ears, if you will. So that being said, No Time to Die, I'm putting it number 1. I mentioned last month, but I really like this one the best out of all of the ones that were picked, even way back, just from the very beginning. This is the one that I really gravitated towards. And sure enough, the few critics awards that have given it out have only given it out to this one. So I could see this taking home the win. That being said, I do still like the Be Alive song from Beyonce, and I can see that one taking home the win as well. So those two I think are surefire things. I put Dos Oruguitas on there. I also really like this one. I see it as a surefire thing, and a lot of people seem to agree. But it's really number 4, number 5 where we start to differ, where we start to have difference of opinion. A lot of people really sure that Down to Joy is going to get in. I had it for the longest time, but I'm going to tell you, I just don't quite see it. I don't know what other people are seeing. There's a lot of people that are like 100% sure it's getting in. I don't know where they're getting that information. Maybe you guys can enlighten me on it. So for now, fuck it, I'm throwing the 2 other songs that I really liked among the shortlist. And that's Guns Go Bang for The Harder They Fall, and So We May Start for Annette. These are my 5 actual favorites from the shortlist. Are they all going to get in? Probably not, but that's what I got on this one. But again, just music, I can't tell you much about it apart from what I find appealing to me. And moving on to sound, Dune, again, another one I think Dune has in the bag. The rest are kind of just the rest, what I threw on there from the short list. I think you're just safe with Dune at number 1 here. And then visual effects, also Dune. I see Dune taking that one as well. I think that one is a surefire thing. The rest are really just the rest. So make that what you will. Now we also got the short list for the shorts. So let's just talk about how well I did in each category and how the lists are being rearranged. Starting, of course, with animated short. I got 1 right out of my list. Which was Young Again? Oh my god, I forgot the name of the short. The one on Disney Plus. Us Again, excuse me. And funny enough, after going through all these shorts and reading the synopsis, seeing the art styles and things like that, just compared that one to a lot of the others, I can't even have that one in my top 5 because I'm like, holy shit, some of these other ones look and sound amazing. So I'm just going off of the synopsis and the art style on this, and that's what I got right now. I won't bore you with each individual one, but take a look at those. If you guys haven't seen the short list yet, go out and check it out as well. Documentary short, I actually did very well there. I actually ended up getting 4. 4 out of my 5s that I was predicting made it in there. So, hey, good for me, right? That's pretty awesome. Keeping Queen of Basketball at my number 1. I threw The Facility at number 2. Keeping Camp Confidential at number 3. Lead Me Home, also sounding pretty good. And then Audible, I'm keeping at my number 5. The only one that I did take off that I did predict was Day of Rage. I think that one and Camp Confidential might hit kind of similar notes to the point that I think it's either going to be one or the other. I don't think you'll see both. I think you'll either see one or you'll see the other. And right now I'm just going for Camp Confidential. So that's my take on it. And then, sure enough, I mention this every single month. Live action short is my weakest subject. And to prove that, I didn't get a single one of my predictions in the short list. So there's that for you. So that being said, once again, I read the synopsis to them and just kind of made my decision based on those. And this is what you got there. So take a look at those. There's some very interesting synopsis on there. And I think some you can actually even see right now, either on Netflix or Hulu or through some other means. Go check them out. These shorts really don't get as much love as they deserve. And we should definitely change that. And there you have it, everybody. That is my Oscar predictions for January. I have 1 more predictions video left before the actual Oscar nominations get released. So next month, I will definitely give a more serious thought on what I think is going to get in. It is the final, no holding back, no goofing around, honest to goodness predictions. So very, very exciting. Good God. We got the Golden Globes this upcoming Sunday, which in hindsight, who the fuck cares, because it's the Golden Globes and they're racist pieces of shit. So I don't know, there's that. Yeah, damn, we're getting close. Another fucking year gone. How crazy is that? Guys, I hope 2022 ends up being a great year for everyone. We're slowly starting to heal. I think we've still got some ways to go, but I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Please stay safe out there, guys. I say that every month, and I do mean it. Stay safe out there, and like always, have a good one.